Hi, Esperanza. Hello, hello. I'm so thankful to see you. How are you? How did I know? It's that magical intuition, right? All right, let's go ahead and pick a card for this week. I want to remind everyone that this Wednesday is the first Wednesday of the month. I used to do weekly readings in my Facebook group, and I moved it to once a month, and I'm kind of playing with that a little bit. So if you are interested in a free intuitive reading, now I will tell you that it is first come, first serve, and I go as long as I can go because it's tough work to do that. And so if you'd like to join, it is I Am Loved is the Facebook group. I Am Loved, love being a spiritual community. I'm in the middle of old residue in a new version that feels glitchy. Huh. All right. So tell me then, Esperanza, are you saying that you have some stuff that's coming up for you? Is that what you're saying? You're going to pick card two. I see that. Ah, it's what I find about this is that, gosh, so many times when I look back in my experience of life, and when we make decisions, or, it's like sometimes we're at a crossroads, right? Or a fork in the road, and we go, okay, I can do this or I can do this. And maybe both are good options. But what happens sometimes is the opportunity for the residual of whatever is just left undone comes up. And my focus now, I was just thinking about this recently as a story that I was going to share on TikTok. But so often, we disconnect, we avoid, or we suppress some of the really tough things, right? Or maybe it's even things that we think we've resolved. And so, this perspective taking, how we perceive this residual coming up, is such a significant part of how we move through it. Because the experience of it coming up is a neutral experience. There's neutrality in the experience if you're just looking at it objectively. The key is how we make sense of it, right? What meaning we put toward it. And when we shift our lens and we go, oh, I have this opportunity now to really move through this experience. I have this opportunity now to hold space for myself, maybe. I have this opportunity now to affirm my progress and the things that I know now that I didn't know before. It's the opportunity for me to really practice the process of healing. Yeah. And so the opportunity, because semantically our bodies understand opportunity, right? As opposed to, oh, the shit I got to deal with, right? So our bodies respond to opportunity. And when we respond to opportunity in a way that we see it as something that we're open hearted and willing to step into, it changes it. It doesn't mean that it's less hard. Doesn't mean that we don't, it's, that the decisions come easier, but it changes the dynamic. And I think what happens, I was literally just thinking about this. I think what happens is sometimes the thing that we're avoiding, that we don't want to deal with or whatever, feels big and hard. But if we step back and we recognize the truth of who we are, we know that we are more than that. We know that we've moved through difficult experiences before. Like we've done this, right? And so we can get through this. And so the power that it has over us decreases when we realize the power that we inherently have and the power that we are. So my 2 cents about that. Oh, it's so good. Yeah, you can feel sad and excited at the same time. Yeah, we can be two things. We can be three things. We can experience these things all at the same time. Yeah. And I'd like to also say that there's beauty in all of those experiences. I know when we're in it, we're like, there's no beauty in this crap. I totally get that. But also, when we learn to honor the journey, we can recognize the significance of all of the things that we are feeling. And I think just giving ourselves space and time, right? Space and time to just feel, to just let ourselves feel, right? All right, let's do card 1, 2, or 3. Got my love being cards here. And I have to tell you guys that 2 days ago, I was reminded that I actually started a kid deck, a 22 deck card deck for kids, so it's 22 cards. And I started it and got about halfway through, and then other things took precedence because I've got to get other stuff going, right? And so I was reminded that I needed to go back to this card deck. So it's something that I am going to be working on and hopefully getting done by the end, I would say before the end of the year. So cards specifically for kids. All right. So 1, 2, or 3, pick a card. Okay. We got card 1. Card 2. And card 3. Ah, that's so exciting, Esperanza. All right. Card 1. Let it go. Can you see that? Let me see. There's a little bit of a glare from the window. Let it go. All right. I willingly release what no longer serves me. Okay. So I just posted this recently about letting it go. And I will tell you that letting things go for me, because from a generational trauma lens, and my experience, because my family were so deeply rooted in holding on to grudges and their resentments, it's just what I was raised with. That was the culture in my family, was to hold on to things and not to let them go. And even like years later, you ask, why is everyone like, why don't people not talk to each other, and why do da da da, and you're like, we don't know. Or there will be a story that's so just convoluted that nobody really knows the truth of what happened, because it's 10 times that it's been told over plus, right? And it's my perspective versus your perspective. And so part of, like I like to say, in my DNA, I had this resistance to really letting things go. And I had this like aha experience. And I believe it was John Kabat-Zinn many years ago when I first started learning about meditation. He said just to let it be. Like letting something go might feel too big and too hard, but if we just let it be, and my body could do that. Like I could let things be. I wasn't ready to let it go just yet, but I was ready to let it be. And so what that does for me is it moves me and gives me a little bit of distance between the experience and me. And so letting it be is just like, it is what it is. It happened as it happened. There's nothing that I can do to change it. And by my thinking about it and erosing over it and just focusing on it doesn't change the experience. And so I can just, with my whole heart, step back and just set it down. Just set it down. And these are the burdens that we often carry and we forget that we have them. And they are 500 pounds extra that we're carrying, and we have no conscious idea that we're doing this. So the moment we set it down, we start to feel that sense of relief. And then you just, as you move back a little bit, you can go, you know what? I think I can be okay with letting this go. I think I can. And so if letting something go is too much and too hard, just practice the experience of letting it be. Okay. Number 2, physical self. All right. So I lovingly connect to my body. I lovingly connect to my body. So physical self. The question just came to me right now. What are you doing to honor your body? Okay, hold on. Whoa. Okay. So what I just heard is sometimes we make decisions that we believe is honoring our bodies, but the reason that we're making these decisions to begin with is rooted in shame. Does that make sense? So there's a difference energetically between I want to change all of these things about my body because I'm ashamed of my body. And we, from our lens of the experience, going, oh, this is my way of honoring my body because it's maybe a healthier thing to do, a better thing to do. And so if we are making decisions for our bodies, but it's still rooted in shame, we're still vibrating at the shame level, at the level of shame. Does that make sense? So when we honor our body, our physical self, it really has to come from a place of love. It's not, I'm going to love you once you get to where I want you to be, right? It's, I love my body, my physical self, because of all of the things that I just got distracted, Esperanza, by your comment. It says, oh, that's interesting. I have the idea to go take care of myself by going to the gym and soaking in the spa tonight. So any decision, literally, like I just heard this right now, any decision that we make for our physical body, if we're doing it because we dislike our current state, what we're doing is we're vibrating at the level of shame. Okay. And so the way that I imagine this is if you have somebody who you have a close relationship with, for me, it's my daughter. And I think about all of the ways that I care for her. She has lots of physical things that are going on with her digestive system. We just found a resolution though, so we're really, really happy. But I really work at honoring, respecting, and helping her learn to listen to her body, to take care of her body. So that's coming from a state of love. And so whatever you do for your body to take care of your physical self, do it from the lens of love. And maybe even if you're like, I can't do that yet because I'm looking at my cellulite, I'm looking at my rolls, I can't have that love for that just yet. You can actually just simply say the words, I am doing this as a way to love my body. I'm doing this as a way to love you, body. Okay. And so make it in a process. So this language is in a process oriented. So I am doing this to love my body as a way, as a form to love my body. Okay. So again, I'm going to repeat this because they're telling me to say this again. If you are making decisions, and it could be anything about your body, it could be anything about your body. So be taking care of the nutrition, it could be supplements, it could be exercise, it could be slowing down and just listening to when you are tired. All of those things that we do, we want to make sure we're doing it from the lens of love. Because if you're doing it from the perspective of wanting to be different, wanting desperately to change something about yourself, that's still stemming from the place of shame. Okay. So that's number 2. Number 3 is to heal. Okay. I am committed to my healing journey. And the healing journey, I think Esperanza just shared when we first jumped on here, that, you know, sometimes we bring up some residual that we thought we healed already. And that's just part of the journey. For me, it's like this onion that has all of these layers, and you just peel back the onion and you go, oh, you know, these are the things that are here in my experience that I'm currently dealing with. And so you work through it, you heal through it. There are lots of ways that you can approach your healing journey. And then you peel that back and you go, you know, I'm doing pretty good. And then all of a sudden something else will come up. That's simply part of the journey. The journey of healing is never ending. And I don't care who you are. I don't care how many books you have written, how many degrees you have, how much time you have spent either in personal development or spiritual development or spiritual development. The journey continues. Everybody moves in and out of this experience that we call life. And when I say in and out, it's because we become the observer, we notice, and then we're deeply entrenched in it. And so we are moving. It's like riding the waves. And the awareness part of it, the developing our awareness of the experience, helps us be able to navigate through life's experiences with grace and with ease. Okay. Now, I don't want to dismiss that it can be painful, and I don't want to dismiss how heavy it can feel, but you can do this because you are a divine being. You have the ability to connect with love. You have the ability to connect with the truth of who you are, which is consciousness. That is accessible to you. Okay. It's just the practice of knowing how to do that. That's all it is. Okay. All right. So number 1 was let it go. Number 2 was physical self. And number 3 is heal. And I am sending you lots of love through this healing journey. And I invite you all to join me in my Facebook group. We have live readings coming up this Wednesday. And so I'm looking forward to seeing you all. Hi, Nina. Have a good rest of your day.